Welcome back, everybody, to a special episode of DNA Crows, because all of our episodes are very special, and we have a very special guest here today. In fact, we have three very special guests: Origami, BPM Broly, and of course, my very, very favorite brother, Dean. Please say hi.
I'm sorry. I need to interject. Are any of us guests? I'm pretty sure we're all on the channel.
let me break it down real quick.
That's what makes you special.
Okay.
Crow is the host, and we are the co-hosts. That's how it works. So without further ado, everybody, thanks for joining us again for an interesting little episode of CouchCrows.
Yes.
Got a few updates for you. I'm just gonna hand it over to the host right now just to break things down. Hopefully you guys stick around, enjoy, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Absolutely. And the reason why we wanted to do this episode is just we've seen a few things going around in the community. For IStandWithVic, we haven't really done a video on it in a while. We kind of just make the joke, how this is how Vic, But today we do really kind of want to talk about some things that, they've been bothering me, and I don't want to put words into your guys' mouth because I did ask y'all to join me for this. I'm very upset with the behavior that I've seen from certain people, and I'm not going to name names. If you follow me on Twitter, you probably saw a little bit of the interaction that I had. It's this idea of healing the community and the way that everybody thinks it's going to happen. I do not like the idea that you can heal it by just sweeping everything under the rug, by ignoring actual problems and just pretending that they don't exist, by looking at the fans and telling them they need to be the ones to stop. They have to stop, and their behavior is wrong, and people should stop riling people up, because I don't think that that's what's been going on, period. Yeah, it is a little bit more difficult for me to kind of put all out into words. So basically, I do not think this community can be healed. I think that it's like Aura, you put it best. I'm going to let you take it over from here. That this is not a situation where we can just mend a small cut. It's a situation where we've lost an arm, we've lost a limb, and we need to learn how to live with that.
To put it blatantly, yes. In essence, like, the way people want to heal the community, I don't know if it's going to work the way they want to. Who am I to really say that? That's just my opinion. But I think what has essentially happened is there's a lot of things about these VAs that we looked up to, that we enjoyed, that we had good times with, spent our childhoods with. We've seen darker sides to them. We've seen things they were a part of, how they treated fans, and some of them just straight up lying and fabricating things just to fit whatever agenda they had here and there. And the way I explained it to Crow is, like, this isn't just like a small thing they've done. It's like them cutting off your arm and being like, oh, it's okay, the bleeding stopped, you're healed now. It's not the same. Now you don't have an arm. This is totally different, and whether or not it gets healed, it's not really up to us anymore. Like, we got to deal with it in our own specific ways. I can only hope to entertain and give those a laugh where they need it. That's what I want to do. Broly, how about you? What do you think?
I tweeted about this as well. I think there's a lot of misguided ideas where people think the fans, or in other words, the consumers, not everybody, but a lot of consumers, they're the ones who need to change. And it's just kind of this crazy perspective where these are the people who fund this,
No, for sure.
And at the same time, they should, who brought this to the forefront, brought this to social media with purpose, with intent, are still going out. They're still, even yesterday, there's an article for Jamie Mucci going around.
Moochie Coochie.
And it's perpetual. And, we're talking about whether or not Slaytosh should be deposed. There's like all this frivolous BS going on with the legal system. This is their lawyer who represents them, and I'm guessing that they have to be okay with stuff like that. Lemon is saying that Slatosh is a liar and that he's guilty of perjury and all this stuff, and I'm just like, yeah, no, you guys aren't trying to heal anything, so why are you trying to say that we, the people who pay for you to do what you do, be the ones who need to change?
Forgive me, I really want to add to your point that you just made, because what is it, in Moochie's article, it's talking about being afraid to speak out, but look what happened to Slatosh when he spoke out. Now they want to damage him because of it.
Yeah,
they're
going after someone who spoke out against them.
Are we talking about the NPR article?
Yeah, I just didn't want to name her. She's like Voldemort.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted some context.
Well, I mean, NPR really does need the plug.
No, yeah. So it's stuff like that, and as BP said, the fans weren't the one who brought this to light. This was dragged onto social media by certain parties, and it blew up, and it blew up in a way they didn't expect it to, and I'll believe that. Some people who are saying that the fans need to stop, we don't know what they're going through, so I don't know what's going through their state of mind when they're saying or doing whatever they're doing. I don't think. Damn it, BP.
I was trying not to say it. But,
okay, well, mentioned the name.
I want to say one thing very quick, just as far as this idea of the fans goes. It's an impossibility to get all of your fans to fall in line behind you, because let's use a very small number for your fan base. Let's say you have 1,000 fans. If 1% of them are just jackasses,
yep,
and that's all you want to focus on, you want to take the most extreme example, put them up on a pedestal and say, hey, look at that. That's everybody who is against me. Or better yet, how about the times when we didn't do anything? Legit, we were just talking about Vic, and all of a sudden, they're trying to SWAT us! They're doxing us! How many times did they fake attacks against themselves and then blame it on the community?
Well, Lady Voldemort posted a picture of her own door and then complained that her door was posted on the internet.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, going into what BP had said, so yeah, you had these people bring this into social media to try to destroy someone's life, right? And I'm actually really glad that BP mentioned Chuck Huber, because I didn't know how I was gonna say this without mentioning Chuck Huber. And now that things are somewhat said and done, and people are upset at these voice actors, you have Chuck Huber crying like a little baby. You guys are tearing apart my family. You guys, you need to stop this. You guys, you need to heal the community. Well, Chuck, I mean, I'm sorry, but grow the fuck up. Stop being a fucking baby. These people are upset because your family literally destroyed someone's life and are now looking at the fans to just not want to do anything about it. Grow the fuck up, Chuck. Stop acting like a little bitch.
Okay, Dean. I'm gonna cut you off there, and I'll say my piece, because I think I'm a little bit more in agreement with Dean, just not to that extreme.
You go for it.
Chuck Huber did put his head out on the line for Vic with his affidavit, and I think right now he is just doing everything he can, but I don't think he's doing it for... I think he is completely misguided in the way he's going about it. I think he understands that his family has no intention of backing down from the road that they've traveled down. They have no intention of stopping. They want Vic gone, and they will attack anybody that is part of this community.
Yeah, but what's his answer now?
Hold on.
Go to the fans and try to get them to stop?
Hold on. And this is the part about Chuck that I found really distasteful. It was going to the fans. It was following everybody and then turning around only a few days later to start policing their behavior. And
it's almost like he did it on purpose.
It pretty much. And that's where I am at with it, because it seems like he understands that the VAs do have influence, that he has influence, but he is using his own influence not to stop the bad behavior, not to get everybody to calm down. He's using it to tell one side to stop and behave.
So he's using his influence to police the fans? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And I know he's going to turn around because he said the same thing to me on Twitter when I confronted him about it, which is, I'm not telling people what to do.
You're just heavily implying and basically, being a condescending prick.
Okay, now I'm gonna only as the host here. We are at our 10-minute mark. I'm gonna turn it over to AG because I know he has a counter to what we've been saying. I think that's fair.
Am I ready to go, or do you need to count me off?
You're good.
All right, so basically, you guys are entitled to believe what you want, and that's fine, because I do agree some things are distasteful in the way he's handling it, and I'm sure others are majorly inclined to agree with you. However, when he stood up, he did stand up for Vic, kind of like we did. When it really counted, he was there. He may be condescending, but he's not going like Sabat, going assholes, or what did Sabat say? Autistic Legion?
Yeah, he called the autistic.
Yeah, what else? Who else? Amanda Wynn Lee, go fuck yourself. I hope you get raped. There's none of that from Chuck Huber. He may be condescending, but he's never done anything to that level where these people truly disrespected fans. And we don't know what's going on because Chuck was afraid to even say this stuff in the affidavit because we don't know what those other VAs that he claims to be his family are even doing to him. So there's probably so much context that we don't even know what's going on. And like I said, it's fair for you guys to say that. It's fair for you guys to think that. And everyone else who's watching that, you can think I don't know what I'm talking about. But I believe it's also fair to say that my points aren't moot. So, I don't know if you all agree with me.
I don't disagree with you. Like I said, he stuck his neck out on the line for Vic, and it is obvious based on his affidavit and the things that he said, and just the things that we have experienced in dealing with these voice actors, that there's very good reason for him to be afraid after coming out against them, and to kind of just try to completely neutralize the field. But I guess my issue there is, and I'm not trying to be a dick, I'm just not trying to do that. But when I saw him turn around on Emish, and I've had my shit with Emish, it's not much, but when he turned around and said that Emish was doing this for his own benefit, he had a formula for getting people to watch his videos and to click, and he was doing it for his benefit and not for
the videos he's not even making, by the way.
The thing is, when I pushed him on, I said, look, you just described grifting. And he danced around it for 20 to 30 minutes straight, only to finally turn around and say, I'm not saying he's doing this video for that. I'm saying he's doing it for an emotional benefit. And I was just like, man,
way to move the goalpost.
Pretty much. Like, I try to say, like, I'm your fan, man. You want to talk about anime? Let's talk about anime. If you want to heal the community, the only way to do that is to not engage in the drama and the bad feelings and open up all of the wounds and tell one side to behave themselves while the other side is still running around. I mean, at the same time he was doing this, we had another fake attack from Kickback. A fake, stupid-ass handwritten note. I'm so tired of it. Then I turn around and I'm like, I told some people, you shouldn't go and talk to the guy replacing Vic as Crow, right? I said,
I got confused. I thought you meant you.
Crow from Ruby. And I'm not going to say the voice actor's name. I'm not going to plug his Twitter or anything because I don't want anyone to jump into this. But obviously there's bad feelings there. Obviously there is a lot of hurt. One person came in and used the meme from Tropic Thunder. The meme is, you went full retard, never go full retard. And the voice actor turned around, started screeching at them, big time, about how they have a member of their family who's developed disabled, and I have two sisters who I legit cannot talk to, Dean.
Yeah.
I get it. I understand it. I do. But for you to turn around and try to challenge someone to a fight online from a meme from Tropic Thunder, like, grow some balls. Go in and attack Robert Downey Jr. for saying it.
Wait a minute, is that the guy who wanted to fight in real life?
Yeah, that was he challenged that person to a fight in real life. Turned around and said, if anyone has their name, I want to give them a present. Deleted the tweet. Then said he wanted their personal information for his own safety and that he would be contacting conventions to warn them about this person. And I sat there and I said, all this dude did was post the fucking meme.
Yeah.
I you know, there is way too much of this. There's way too much of that negativity. And at the end of the day, if the voice actors are only going to highlight the negativity, if that's all they want to focus on, if that's all they want to keep bringing to the surface, you know, Jamie Marchi sits there and says, well, because of this, I lost work. Because of your own behavior, because the things that you said about the community, because of the things that you said about your fans, because you ran blockchains on people and they lost access to you, people that actually liked you. You did all of this damage to yourself, and you were warned by many people that this would happen if you kept talking to your fans this way, and you just kept it going.
Yeah. But you know, BP has been quiet.
Yeah, BP, would you like to say or speak your piece on any of this or chime in on anything?
Yeah, just the overall, because I'm the one who mentioned his name in the first place, and I'm not trying to put a target on his back. You know, like, I agree most with Origami. We're allowed to have different opinions here, and I feel like we don't know the full context. There's a lot to be skeptical about, and I don't blame other people for having their opinions. But I haven't forgotten that he did stand up for Vic. You know, if I'm Chuck and I tried doing this thing with the lawsuit, and it turns out it looks like a major flop in the lawsuit attempt failed, it's just like, well, what else can I really do at this point? And, you know, I feel like the answer is just to talk about anime and move on. But I guess he's doing what he's doing for some reason that I don't know what his reasons are. I don't have enough information, so I'm trying to give him a benefit of the doubt and just say, you know, he must have his reasons. Maybe he's scared, even though when you're scared, you can't come out and say, no, it's because I'm scared of this. Like, you can't do that anymore.
Yeah, I don't mean to cut you off, BP. I'm sorry. I'm also adding to your point as well, if I may.
Or,
Nay, I say, as the host, I decline that.
Well, let me finish it anyway, and then you can edit it out. What is it? Oh, damn it. Chuck has odd behavior lately because some of the things he has come out to just, like, stir whatever up for whatever reason. It is odd, but there has been it's weird because it depends who really, like, challenges him, who he engages with. Because there was a Kick Vic person who wasn't even that bad. He just called him out saying that he likes his work, and he's like, how could you support Vic? And he's like, I can support whoever I want. And then he's like, but Vic has done this and he should suffer consequences. And he's like, everything is being handled in the courts. You know what I mean? Which is I think that's the best answer, really. Everything's kind of being handled in the courts. Doesn't really matter. I lost my whole train of thought. Got derailed.
No. Or I apologize. I agree with you. And I think that if that was his stance, I would be totally okay with that.
But some of his behavior is a little bewildering. I can't explain it because I don't know what his mindset is.
I did not want to do this video as some sort of anti-Chuck Huber sort of thing. It's not about that at all. It's the
This wasn't even supposed to be the topic.
No, it really
well,
isn't.
If I could just jump back in.
Yeah, please.
Because you really derailed it, BP.
No. Because, you know, I heard Nick bring it up, and he has a lot bigger reach than we do, and he has
criminally
a little bit more
undersubbed.
influence.
Shut up before you ruin him too.
And others with Chuck, there's been ego testing and whatnot. It's just like, let's maybe talk about the reason why that kind of mindset in general is misguided. And it's just like these people like Jamie Markey and Monica Rial, they're like, oh, well, the community can start healing once the lawsuit's over and we've won, basically. And to them, that means that, we win. And now people need to shut up and stop talking about us in a negative light and bringing, continuing this kind of attention. It's like, that's what they think healing the community means. It has nothing to do with the people who have lost out.
It has nothing to do with the community. It has everything to do with them. And
yeah, exactly.
Guys, well, actually, first off, we're at our 20-minute mark. So we should probably give our closing thoughts on this one. There's no way that that's going to happen because, look, let's say I went ahead and agreed with them on everything they said about Vic, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't excuse any of their behavior towards the community and towards the fans. At the end of the day, Vic has a large fan base. When that happens, it's going to be contentious. And if you are going to turn around and insult them all, call them all adolescents, call them the worst names in the book, make fun of them, block them. The voice of Grumpig voice actor, who I will never refer to him by his name in a video.
Call him Mud.
Yeah, Mud.
Tweaky dude, right?
Yeah,
Mud.
No,
His
no,
name's
no,
Mud.
no, Mud.
It didn't reek.
No, that's too good for him. Mud's better.
Yeah, Mud's a good name. But legit, I remember all I said was, look, what you just said was false, because Monica changed her story. And he turned around, called me a rape apologist, and blocked me immediately. I sat there and I said, okay, I wasn't being rude, I wasn't being nasty. I could have been, I should have been, but I wasn't. And
we definitely made some videos after him after.
Oh, after that, yeah. Look, and that's the thing. You know what? My negativity towards these VAs is 100% over their own behavior. Period.
We should invite Mud on a podcast, guys. Just, Exactly.
Grumpig says no rape.
I mean, anybody not happy with that? Dean?
I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Crow, would you like Mud on this podcast?
I would love to have Mud on the podcast.
BP.
I'm indifferent.
I'm inviting
uses
Mud.
for my time.
All right. Well, you heard it. One of these days we'll have our very special guest, Mud.
Yes.
And that's all I have to say. I don't think the community can heal right now because the biggest influencers in the animated community are going to be those voice actors, and they don't want it to heal. They want to excise the vermin out of the community as they see it.
I just have a question to follow that up. So when to anybody in this podcast, when do any of you think the community can heal, or do you think it's a either us or them type situation?
I personally think the damage is done, and it just heals based on whatever person wants to deal with it in whatever way they choose to. As I stated earlier, the way I want to choose with going around with healing is by entertaining people. I want to give people a laugh where there's been nothing but like arguing. I want us to laugh. I want us to have fun doing that. That's what I think healing is, I don't think people should just like forget about it, but at the same time, I think people should just focus on themselves and their own sanity and their own like health and everything like that. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just being.
We should go back to just talking about anime and just having fun with each other. And if Vic is at a convention and you don't like him, you should just not go see him.
What about UBP?
I don't have an answer right now. I mean, maybe it's hypocritical for me to not have an answer, but I feel like the ones that we've been given, I think AG is on the right track, because the people who need to heal are those involved, but also the community. If you're talking about the community specifically, it's up to each of us to figure out how that's going to happen, because this was brought on to us by them, and they're not willing to budge and they just want to exercise us out. So we have to figure out where we are with that. If we still want to be a part of it, if we just exercise ourselves out of it, or if we're gonna put up with it, because I don't think Funimation's gonna do anything with these people. They're not gonna change. They're very hateful, spiteful people, and you can't control things sometimes. So yeah, I think it's up to each individual, what they want.
Yeah, no, I get you. See, that's really interesting because I'm an anime watcher myself. I've never really considered myself a part of the community.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if I am now. I'm okay with not being a part of the community personally. I've met a lot of really cool people from the IStandWithVic community that I really like, and I'm okay with not being a part of the community. I'm okay with the community not healing. I think people take the community a little too seriously to begin with, and that's really more from an outside perspective.
Yeah. I mean, it is just anime at the end of the day.
Yeah. I would just like to point out, everyone in IStandWithVic jumped in, you know what I mean? So that's why I think it's up to them for their own decision. They have to make their own decision on how this thing should be healed. Some would say when justice is done for Vic. Who knows when that will be, So
that's fair.
Throwing it out there too. If I'm not saying don't support Vic, by all means, please just keep hitting up conventions to support the guy. If you feel the need to donate to the GoFundMe, please keep doing that as well. Even if you've done it 4 times already. Whatever you think is gonna benefit Vic Mignogna, go for it. Unless it's some V for Vendetta shit. Don't do that.
Yeah. No. I will say the final thing that everyone can do if they want to support Vic, it's not engaging in the fights on Twitter. It's not engaging in the fights on social media. It's legitimately, and this is the tough thing, it's ignoring them. It is shutting it out. It is.
Wait.
Hold on.
Wait. Is that you saying that, Crow?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Odd, isn't it?
Well, the thing is, you know what? At the end of the day, when I talk to people on KickVic, and you will see this, I don't comment on them. I really avoid tweeting at them, period, because there's no conversation to be had. They want someone's head, and they won't be satisfied until they get the dude's head. So the only thing I can do now is just say, okay, boomer, bye-bye, and just contact a local convention and say, hey, if you have Vic Mignogna here, I'll go to that convention if you book him. I'll spend my money there. When Anime Matsuri booked him, I flew out to Texas, which I have not done for a convention. I spent a lot of money at that con, right? That's what I'm going to do. If you bring Vic to conventions, someplace that I can go, if he's going to be at KamehaCon next year, that's where I'm at, and I think that's where we all need to be at. And the only time you need to comment on this stuff is when those conventions, when they come under fire, you contact those conventions and you tell them you support them. That's it. That's probably the best way of moving forward here, and just sending Vic as much good feelings as you can, because as bad as all of us feel, as bad as Chuck Huber probably feels, Vic is definitely the one who's dealing with this the most and the hardest.
Agreed.
Well, I don't have much more to add.
I'll go ahead and I'll add to my last thought, since I really didn't have much to offer on that particular note.
Jesus, Broly, just say it. Demean yourself.
Come on, bro. BP gets the last word.
My own argument, just others. But anyways, I think, what is a community? It's something that you want to be a part of. And I don't want to be a part of their voice acting clique that supports people like that. So my gut reaction is to take away from this the people and the experiences that I had that I want to be a part of and that are favorable to me. And that's just me. But, if you have to really think about what community is, because this goes with IStandWithVic stuff too. I held back on things that I didn't want to for the sake of community. I think it was a mistake. So just, in terms of community, no, build the community around the people who deserve it. And like Crow was saying, like, go support Vic anytime you can. You can't really organize inviting him to a convention, because if you send a ton of like targeted similar things at the same time, people are going to be like, what's up with this? And then if they get a bunch of negative stuff at the same time, you're going to have some boomer freaking out who doesn't know what Twitter is. So you really need to do your own research and go and reach out to these conventions, and don't say, hey, yeah, and F the SJWs and all this stuff. You really just need to keep it about that person and, show intent that you're willing to go. So look for conventions near you. And yeah, just everything else that has been said, but that's my piece.
Be civil as possible as well.
Yeah.
Like,
be civil, be positive, and I'm don't mention any drama, like don't mention anything other than I want this guest.
Yeah.
Better bring Pinata, or I swear.
It's very and it's very cathartic. It really is.
I thought BP got the last one.
He did. I'm acknowledging what he said. It's very cathartic to be negative. It is not useful, though.
Can I do the closings?
Yes, please do.
All right. Thanks for this odd and unconventional, joining us for this unconventional episode that I didn't even know was happening like this of the CouchCrows. Please go subscribe to the CouchCrows channel, where we're doing Pokemon-related content. And I believe the giveaways are still going on?
Yes. Actually, Sobble was already given away to at Lucario_designs. And I still have the Score Bunny to give away. And then it's Groupie.
I want it.
Somebody won a copy of Sword, I believe?
Oh, yes! Finally! Okay, good. This is very important. I've already contacted these people on Twitter, but the winners for the Pokemon Sword and Shield giveaway, Pokemon Sword is going to Sky Hime, who left a comment on the Mad Brown Arab video, which I love. And then Dean, he is going to be giving Sword away to a very good friend of ours, Super Saiyan Aerok. And I actually cannot remember the video that he left his comment on, though. But
He left a comment on all of our videos.
he leaves comments on everything.
He really wanted Pokemon. He really wanted
Yeah.
Pokemon. He's such a great guy, too. I'm really happy he won.
Yeah, he's
So
really chill.
Congratulations to all the winners out there. Thank you for joining in the
Congrats.
giveaway. What is it? Go support Tea Time, even though I shouldn't be doing that. I'm technically a trader.
Oh, no.
Let me do it. Let me do the thing.
Boo.
Shut up, Dean.
Boo.
You're going to make me lose my train of thought. Stop. Damn it. All right.
Go support Tea Time.
Yeah, go support Tea Time.
It's hosted by Gothic Sushi and Kayla. Both friends of the show, both really good friends. We do really want them to succeed, just not in our channel. We will put a link to their YouTube channel in the description. Go check it out, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. It might be a broken link or something. I don't know.
I don't even know what I was talking about.
Oh, that's how we usually end our podcast. Good night,
right.
everybody.
Keep in mind, when you argue with Vic, it's like yelling at the sun to go down when it comes up. So, do you really want to stand outside yelling at the sun, go down? Go down! So,
I would like to see it happen. Yeah. All right, guys. Have a good one.
Adios.